Howdy everyone, welcome back to the Modern Nomad. Today I want to talk about 5 design mistakes that I made when building my bus. And we're going to start off with the door here. This was a huge mistake. It originally had the shuttle bus doors that open and close, and there was no way to lock it, there was no way to secure it, so I removed those doors and instead put this closet door in its place. The closet doors actually worked surprisingly well. I painted it with outdoor paint. This is my cat on the other side of the camera right now. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you talking about?" Anywho, in hindsight, I should have definitely kept the shuttle bus doors and just figured out a way to latch them and lock them shut. The ones in my particular case had a crack on one side, so it wouldn't have been quite as straightforward as just putting a lock on there, but it wouldn't be that hard to just seal it up, at least a lot easier than it was to put this door in. The original intention was this was supposed to be temporary, and I ordered an outdoor door, but the order got canceled, and then I have not been able to find anyone who can custom make this specific size. So overall, it would have just been a lot easier if I kept these shuttle bus doors and figured out how to secure them than it was to go with a door like this. Now I'm pretty much at the point of building my own door. Speaking of doors, this leads us into number 2. So this is the living space as it looks. I do live in here currently, so yes, it is not going to be perfectly clean. I apologize, but I am going to install a hard door here. I'm probably going to take that door and probably put it here. And I'm also going to put a hard door there. So I designed my bus with having effectively 3 compartments. So the front here, which I call the cat area, the very back, which is the bathroom / garage area, and then this is the living space. The intention always has been that this section will be the primary living space, and under extreme conditions, I can just put up a curtain over here or over here, and it'll kind of keep the heat sort of contained in the living space, and it does work, but it could be a lot better. It's gotten down to some pretty cold temperatures recently here, down to at least -20, but my car was reading -30 a couple times, and it kept it a nice and toasty by comparison, 30 to 45 degrees in here with the mini split. Improving energy efficiency is, I think, very key for running off of solar power, especially if you have a mini split or some kind of air conditioning system. And I think everything would just be so much more efficient if I had a hard door and a hard door. It would keep the heat in here much better contained, probably insulate this wall and the back wall as well. That way we're using a whole lot less energy and I don't have to connect to the grid nearly as much. With the heating on the mini split, it seems to work really well at low temperatures, but it just pulls so much power. It's not practical at all to use solar when it is heating. Doing that, I think, would significantly improve the power consumption of the mini split and even possibly make it to where we actually don't ever have to connect to the grid, even if it's -20 degrees outside. So this is my kitchen, and as you can see, it's sort of turned into storage more than anything else. I really don't use this at all. In fact, it is a complete waste of space, and this could have definitely been a lot more efficiently designed. So the way I have it right now is I just have this counter permanently installed here, and I do cook food, I do prepare stuff, but not nearly as much as having this permanently here. So what I'm planning to do is remove this, and we are going to make a vertical kitchen in here. I'm actually in the process of doing that right now, which is why this whole section is cleared, but we are going to make the counter somewhere in this area, and we're going to put the sink here, have the ice maker sitting over here, and then we're going to have the waste tank and storage for the kitchen underneath. I also want to revise the electrical cabinet slightly, so I'm going to move this a little bit closer to the breaker panel. I still want to have enough access that I can reach my hand in and flip the breaker back on if I need to, but I'm going to take this stuff out. I'm going to clean up this section a little bit, and I'm going to put the oven here. So we'll have the kitchen sink, we'll have the tank and storage, and then the toaster oven is going to be up here. I say toaster oven, it's a really large toaster oven. It can fit a 14-inch pizza, so it's more of an actual convection oven than a toaster oven, but you get the point. As you can see, my cats really enjoy sitting directly in front of the mini split because it is nice and warm. I think they also like looking out the window, but I think they're sitting there more because of the mini split. So we're stepping outside now, and the next thing on the list, which has already been fixed, is the mini split cage. I decided the most efficient way to have the mini split installed was to have the outside unit just hanging off the back like this. And initially I built a cage that had, well, it was up to spec. This thing said that it needed at least like 6 inches or 8 inches of clearance on all sides. So I built the cage that way, but it was extremely flimsy. So driving down the road, the unit would be shaking a lot, and ultimately I ended up just rebuilding it. So now the whole unit is kind of sandwiched in here instead. So there is no clearance from the top or from the bottom. It's also, of course, bolted down on the bottom, so it is nice and tight and secure. It does not shake around a whole lot anymore when we're driving. But this was definitely one of the bigger mistakes that I was worried about damaging my mini split. The last and arguably the most frustrating to fix thing has been I used drywall putty to put the walls together, and that was a major mistake. Drywall putty works great and it makes your walls look awesome if you're sitting still, but on the very first trip to go get gas on the way to a longer road trip, all of the walls flexed and cracked, kind of like what you can see here. So everywhere that I put drywall putty, there's a crack, there's cracks literally all over the wall. So drywall putty was not the answer, but I also don't know what the correct answer is, so that's something we're gonna have to experiment in the next bus. Before I used drywall putty, I did try silicone, and it did not seem like that worked very well for paint sticking to it. So I might look into different kinds of silicone to see if maybe there's one that's paintable, or I'm honestly not sure how that all works, but we'll figure it out in the next build. All right, do you guys have any final thoughts before we let them go here? Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below for more content just like this, and I'll see you in the next video.